And social media is what we're talking about next because the federal government has banned TikTok on all work phones and computers. They say the Chinese-owned app presents an unacceptable level of risk to privacy and security. So TikTok collects data such as a user's contacts, their photos and location, and at least that's what we know about. What do you think of this move?
I think this is a really big move. I don't know if anybody's been watching the news lately, but the Globe and Mail has been doing great reporting that they have seen top secret CSIS documents that show that there was Chinese interference in Canada's federal elections both in 2019 and 2020. 2018 and 2020. I might get my dates wrong here. In any case, the point is this information, I don't know about you and me, but I haven't heard our government talking to us about it. So I'd like to know more about that because the allegations of what they have seen, the journalists have read, are shocking. Mm-hmm. Shocking. So you can go find and read that yourself to find out what it is that China is being accused of in our election. The other place that we heard about this, there was a little election in the United States for some Donald Trump where we heard about Russian interference. And people went all just wild about that because they said democracies around the world are being destabilized. It's happening here too. Mm-hmm. So we get back to TikTok. And a little story. Most of you, when you open up a new app and you want to download something fun, there's often user agreements. And I don't know about you, but they're usually this long. And I'm the first one to scroll to get to the bottom just so I can hit I accept, just so I can get playing on the app. Who reads those? I don't. And I'm also the one at work that sends out, they have these little tests for us here on our security system to be like, can you identify when someone is phishing on an email where it looks like a legit email? And I'm like, oh, that's so legit. Click. And then we actually have a security system in the building and it tells me, you have failed. You have failed this test. What am I trying to say? I'm a pretty tech-savvy person, and I still get in trouble with what I'm doing on my phone, my personal phone. So if you have a federal phone that has access to servers, to contact information, SIN numbers, health card numbers, the way you voted, who knows what, and you're one of those people like me who scrolls to the bottom just to hit I accept, that phone is now a liability when we know a foreign government is actively trying to destabilize our democracy. I think we need more.
How is that going to...
We need more.
I hear what you're saying, but that's my question. Just because you're taking TikTok off of government devices, how is that going to stop the destabilization or the attempt at destabilization?
It's at least
since
one
everybody
thing.
else, I'm not a government employee, I use TikTok, neither are you.
Yeah, but is your phone connected to a server that's a government server?
No, but I mean, we all have two phones. Like, a lot of people have a work phone and a personal phone. Many people do. So I'm assuming the government employees have a government phone or government issue phone. So that won't work anymore. But then they go home or they leave, the gates go up, they're out of their government office, they pull out their personal phone, they pull up their TikTok. What's the difference?
It's the database. It's the access. Our work phones are connected to all the servers.
So you have never...
I'm talking too much and I need to shut it down.
I'm not saying a person, but... Are we saying that we all keep this and this separate? You've never sent a work
I don't
email
think you're supposed to if you're in the government.
And your contacts.
No, but if
you've
you're in
never
the government,
shared the contact list.
I think the government, we want to hold them to a different standard of not muddying those waters. But I think the bigger concern, for me, I think where you're circling, or what you're circling around, is if it's not safe for government employees, why is it safe for citizens? And the bigger concern is around, when you talk about destabilization, it's the spreading of misinformation. And it's the spreading of intentional algorithms that get changed to suppress certain things and amplify other things, which we know is causing radicalization, which we know is causing misinformation, disinformation, all of the things that can wreak havoc on. So again, that's a citizen problem. That's not a government. Obviously it impacts. TikTok's also owned by the Chinese government has a stake in it. So I get why they're connecting these dots. I'm going to stop right here because I want you to weigh in.
No, honestly, I agree with everything that everyone's saying, but I just have a question around this idea of understanding when you go on one of these apps, and you're seeing what's around you. Sometimes you don't take into account your surroundings. So there could be sensitive information so maybe they're trying to create better habits. And I think that for us, we should be asking questions. These apps are for us, but we need to be asking deeper questions as to what's the stake in it for us. You know what I mean? How are we using the app? Why are we using the app? And if we have a little bit more intention around why we're using certain apps, then the information that is taken, we have some control over it. So I would have loved to see maybe a conversation between governments and social media. There should be a public forum, right? Where social media apps discloses that long disclosure that they make and have those conversations so that we can be
They
a
won't even
part.
do that at government hearings. Like, I mean, you know, the U.S. government has asked, Facebook has asked all the app makers, all the social media app makers to disclose, how does this work? Do you data mine? What are you doing with that information? And like, the information hasn't been forthcoming, so I don't know that they're gonna do it in a town hall. Right? So the extreme is for a government, like the US government and the Canadian government, to remove it from government devices. But does it affect, as you're saying, a community level use of these social media apps? Is the damage already being done as soon as you leave a government device? Yes.
Especially because, like, you know, where are the young people today? Like, you're going to want that votership, right? You're, you know, whether you're just...
Hey there, wasn't that great? Do you know where you can find some equally good content? Our YouTube page. It's filled with discussions, debates, and some laughs. Head there now, like and subscribe.